Hi and welcome back to another episode of the Edtech Toolkit for Educators. I know you've really been wanting this, and this one today we're going to look at Microsoft Teams inside of Canvas and how they work together. Let's get started. So straight away, I'm Al-ankar. If you don't know me, you can follow me on Twitter, so here's my handle. And if you don't mind, please like and subscribe to the channel. I know that you're actually enjoying what you're watching, and it'll make sure that you keep up to date with everything that's going on inside the world of e-learning and Canvas. So click that bell and hit the subscribe button and make sure you receive the notifications when you need them. Let's jump straight over to Canvas and let's have a go. So on my dashboard, I'm going to jump straight over into one of my courses. For this one, I'm going to pick the e-learning 2 course. And what I'm going to do today is show you the difference or the multiple ways that you can create Microsoft Teams meetings directly within your Canvas course. So as it starts off, obviously, once you've got into a course, you've got a variety of different ways you can use them, but for them all, you're going to need to learn how to use the rich content editor. So as an example, I want to put an announcement out to all my students inside my course. So I click on announcements, then I'll go directly over to announcements. Clicking on the plus, I can add a new announcement. And then from that, you can give it a title. So if I put here, Teams meeting, online, okay. And I put some sample text that I've got or I made up earlier on. Pop that in there as well. Let's get rid of some of that spacing. It's a bit naff. But okay. So you get the idea. Obviously, I've put some information in there. I've explained something that's going to be on this time at this date and so on and so forth. But you do the same yourselves. Obviously probably the time isn't correct, but equally let's have a look. Looking at the time now, so if I go, it starts at, so if I say it started at that time and finishes at that time, you know, educators, we work all hours. So what I need to do there, right, obviously once I've put it into an announcement, I need to actually grab the link from Microsoft Teams. So now one of the coolest things about Canvas right now is we've got an integration with Microsoft Teams. So from that you can go, I put my cursor where I want the link to go, and then from that I've gone straight over to the apps, and from there it already says Microsoft Teams meeting here, but it won't be like that on yours, and the reason why is because you need to select it first. Go straight to view all. Then from that I can put Microsoft in there. As I start to write it out, I get the Microsoft Teams icon that's sat there for my apps. So I can select on that one, and what it will do is it will ask me to log in if it hasn't done already. So the logins obviously moved past right now, but it might tell you to sign in. At that point then just click on sign in and then agree to it using the LTI inside of your Canvas course. So from there you need to click on create meeting link, and at that point in time I can then choose a time. So if I say from 8 till 9, yeah, that's smashing. And I can put a title in there as well, so I can call this, I don't know, e-learning. So that's the topic we're going to talk about in this one. And then click on create, and as soon as I click create, you will get, once it thinks about it, yeah, you'll get the actual meeting link that you can put directly into your Canvas course. So from that, your meeting options appear here as well. This is one of the things I think you need to know about when you create a meeting inside Microsoft Teams, because like with Zoom and other applications, you're allowed to actually change some bits before the meetings start, which allow you to like open a meeting lobby and stuff like that. So if you click on meeting options from the link from within the actual the window that you're looking at now, you can then go off to your meeting options that you've got. So who can bypass the lobby? Straight away it says people in my organization. Well, I'll be honest, I don't actually want anyone to bypass the lobby. So if I say only me to be able to bypass the lobby, then what that means is that anybody else won't be able to bypass it. So they'll come up to that lobby window, and then I as the educator will be able to go, right, I accept, you can come in, you can come in, you can come in, and so on and so forth. I think that's a safer way to prevent, for instance, like some of the things that you've seen in the news with Zoom bombing sessions and stuff like that. So just to be a bit more aware of how to make that work, and that's how you do it from the meeting options. Another thing that's quite interesting is announce when people join the meeting, announce when callers join the meeting. So if that's set as yes, you'll get a little ding ding when everyone walks in. That's a great impression. And then the next one is who can present. So at this time it says everyone can present, but I don't necessarily want that to be the case. I think it's only me I want to be the presenter to start off with. And at that point in time, inside Teams, you can go and alter those things as well, directly live when the session's happening. So if you wanted someone to show their work or share their own screen or something like that, then you can do that from there. Now note that this isn't actually meaning who can share their camera. Everyone can share their camera in the session, and everyone can use the microphone as well. But you can mute the microphone and stop cameras from within the settings area of Teams as well. So that's once you're actually in the Teams session and it's live, you can then make those alterations on the fly. But again, that's probably for another video. So I'm going to say only me, or I can say only people in my organization or specific people. So all my settings are there, and I selected done, and straight away I got a little tick box to tell me, yeah, that's been done and it's sorted and we're good to go. So from that, I can then close this one down, and obviously I'm still on my announcement where I was previously. So all I have to do is select copy, and where my cursor was, it will put that link directly on the page that I'm working on. So the assignment or the page or the announcement or whichever else has got the rich content editor within it. Just to clarify, the rich content editor is the box that you're looking at now that I'm actually typing in. So the next part of your online meeting when you're setting one up is probably to allocate it to a group or a section. So one of the benefits of our sort of structure at Hull is the fact that we've got our sections based on our registers. So we can have section 1 or section 2. So you might have like a Tuesday group and a Thursday group. It's totally dependent on what's going on within your course. But what you can do there is, if you want to actually make sure that meeting goes and is announced just to a certain group, you can do exactly that within Canvas as well. So from here, if I was to click on my sections, so I click on my drop down, I can click on group A or group B, but for me I'm just going to go with group A. Obviously you'll know who the learners are in group A. And then what I can do there is I can delay the posting as well. So delaying posting, what that means is that I can actually wait and delay it for a later date or a later time for it to be announced inside of Canvas, inside the course. So as an example, if I wanted that to be announced at 19:45, for instance, 15 minutes before, okay, and I could do that there as well. Allow liking is also a way of you actually putting it out there that the announcement is allowed to be liked by people. So for instance, if you had something inside that the dialog box at the top there saying just like it if you're going to be there, or so on and so forth, it's a nice way of adding a bit more touch to your Canvas course and your experience that you're providing your students. So allow like, and I'm going to say yeah, and then I'm going to click save, and it's as simple as that. Now that's up there, obviously that'll be delayed. The post will be posted at 19:45 to our students, and that means that that course now has an announcement set up, ready to go, which is giving students the link to the Teams meeting that's going to happen at a certain time. So that's how you do it in an announcement. Nice and easy, quick way of doing it, and it's a quick win for everybody really, because you're pushing that out to everyone you need to directly, nice and easy from a central environment, which is really good. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do the same thing again, but this time round we're going to do it within Pages. So Pages is a way where, Pages in Canvas is a way where you can provide students with information on a page. So it might have a topic there, you might have a YouTube video there, tell them to watch a YouTube video first, and then we're going to talk about it later in a discussion, or it might have a link to an eStream video from live television, so on and so forth, or a studio video that you've created that might have been like a lesson that you've put together that was asynchronous, and then you want to talk about it in the synchronous sort of methodology from teaching. So if I click on the plus and add a page within the Pages area of Canvas, I can then do the same thing again. I can put online meeting, okay, and I could then copy that information in again if I wanted to. So I've got that information from previously, but it could have different text in it, and for instance here I could add something else, like underneath that I could add a video that I found on YouTube or something. So if I was to go here and I was to find a video that was on YouTube for Teams as an example, so if I was to look through here and find the video, so a guide on Teams for students, and I'll embed that one in there as well, because I think that might be more beneficial. They've got a little guide for one of them. This is one of my other friends that have built stuff on his YouTube channel, so put that one in there as well, so that helps students understand what it is they need to know about Teams before we get there. A bit more information, nice and in their face, and they can understand it. So at that point then I can click on the drop down, click on Teams again, and then create your meeting the same way as you did before. So if I create a meeting link, I'll call this e-learning 2 this time, and we'll go for the same times. We'll click create. I won't go through the options this time round. I'm just going to click copy, but every time you want to alter the options there, you need to click on meeting options from that point to do so. So if I click on copy now, it will grab the link and pop it straight into that place where the cursor was inside the page. Okay, nice thing about this is you can add it to students to-do list from that one, but you can't differentiate that to sections. That's the only problem that comes with a page in Canvas. So in here, if I was to add it to people's to-do, you can still add it as a date, so it will come up on the right hand side of the to-do list for students to complete or to join as a reminder, and then obviously you can set the date there and set the time accordingly as well. So if I went there and I put it in for 20. Okay, and then select it done, put it in the time there, and then I can save and publish the same way. So that's a little bit different. I've added a video there in that one, and it might have something to do with regards to the conversation, talking about the topic you're talking about. And it's quite a nice way to set up a conversation beforehand for a flipped learning model, which is really good. So that was the second method of how to add a Teams meeting. The third and final one that I'm going to show you today is how to utilize your calendar inside of Canvas. So every Canvas course that you have has got a calendar that's built in within it. So each Canvas course you gets a calendar with it. So from that, you can click on calendar that appears on the course navigation right at the bottom for calendars. And what that will do is it will pull up the actual calendar that's associated with the course, and it'll allow you, because obviously I've already put an online meeting a minute ago when I did the announcement, so it's come up there as well. But imagine I want to do one on Friday, so I want to do these meetings ahead of time. What I can do is click on the date and then click on a title and put another in there. So I've got Teams meeting and set a time for it. So imagine I do it 1:30 till 2:30. Go back, edit it. So I hit the keyboard there. So go back there and then pop that in there. Location can be online. Okay, online meeting. And at that point in time, I've stuck an event into my calendar. But what I want to do there is actually do a little bit more than that. I don't just want to put where the meeting's going to happen. I want to put that link in there. So if you click on more options from the edit the events element of Canvas, you then get another rich content editor box, which is exactly the same as what you've seen on the other two examples I've done. So what you can do there is you can add some more text if you want. So I can add that text I had previously, and at that point there I can add another link. So if I want to add a link to the Teams meeting, it's the same way. Click on Teams meeting, creating the link, putting the title in, I'll do that number 3, setting the time and date for it, clicking create, and copying that across and retrieving the content. It'll do what it needs to do and put it in there now. So that is how you add it into a calendar. But then you remember how I said we've got group A and group B inside of your Canvas courses now, or different sections for the groups. So what you can do there, if you want to, you don't actually have to publish it to both groups, but if you wanted to in this case, it could be on both groups, and you could have both groups meet at this one event time that's inside the calendar. Or you could differentiate the date and add a different date in for them both. So it depends on how you want to work that. So if I say use different dates, and then I go to group A and I give them a time and date. So if I say it's today and it starts at this time and that time, you get the idea. The address, you don't necessarily have to fill that one out, but then I click update event. What you'll get from Canvas is a little notification saying, well, you haven't added the first group or group B, so did you want to do that? Well, in this case, yes, we do. We want group A, so we click on continue, and then that will update that one as well. So that means that the students that are in group A for my course will also get that notification, that invitation as well. So as an example, if I go to a test student that I've got inside a course, so I'm going to refresh his dashboard. This is Billy Idol, one of our test students, beloved, and he's great for what he does. So right now over here on the course, I can go to the dashboard. Then what they actually see within their Canvas course, if I click on e-learning as Billy Idol, what you'll find there is that in the announcements, obviously the recent announcements come up at the top there, so you can quite clearly see that that's gone out there. It would have also been pushed out from notification and by email as well. That's very beneficial to anybody. But also another thing that you might notice on this right side is the to-do list for the student actually clearly labels out some of the meetings that I've already put in there today. So you can see there that obviously that there's a meeting from a calendar point of view, there's a meeting from an announcement point of view, and there's also a meeting that's also on a page as well. So all of these are set because I added them to the to-do list by naturally putting a date inside them as a requirement. So all you have to do is put a date in there, and then they appear on the to-do for a student. So there's no excuses for a student not to know that that's not going to happen. I wouldn't advise you to put it in 3 times, for instance, but you see where I'm going with that and how easy it is for them to click and get to where it is they need to be. So if I click on the one that came from the announcement as an example, then I can click on this course here and then goes directly to the link. And what the student will see is they'll have an option to either download the app itself. It might say you've got Teams on your device. Do you want to open it through that one? It will then ask them to log in using their college credentials, which is quite easy, the same way as you'd log into Canvas. But if you didn't want them to do that way, they could also go, well, no, I just want to continue in the browser. So they don't actually need to have Teams on their device. If they're on a mobile, they'll need the app, but if they're on a computer and they've just got a browser with a microphone and a set of headphones, they're good to go. So if I said continue from the browser, what that will do is it'll open the session up in Teams. As an example, it's saying here billy.idle with a guest mark on it. And you can do quite a few things there. You can turn the camera off if you don't want, and the microphone off as well. You can also check your audio settings. But as an example, I will go, right, join now, and we'll join that one that came from the announcement. And what you'll see there is it's basically put them into a lobby sort of feature inside of Microsoft Teams. And what I'll do there is the exact same thing as the student did, but within Canvas as well. So if I click on that one there and I click join the Microsoft Teams meeting as well from my end, I can do it within the app. So the app will pull up on my end and I can join it. I'm joining as myself as well. So if I click on join now, I'm going to turn my microphone off because I don't want the reverb, you know, where you hear the echo. So if I do that one and join, so from Teams, what I'll do there is I'll admit him. So I'll say, yeah, admit, and that'll allow him in. And then what I'll do is mute the microphone there. But obviously, so what Billy would see on this screen is obviously the situation or the conversation at hand. And then what I see on my other screen is the Teams meeting as well. So I can see Billy there. Billy can do a variety of different things inside there. And this is really how you'd set up a Teams meeting. So as more people join in, you'd have more people appear on the bottom screen, which means that they can also say, yeah, you can admit them all in and let them all in past the lobby function inside of the Teams meeting. And then you can get on with what you do best and teach them out there. You've also, because you've set that up using Teams, you've got the raise your hand element of Teams as well, which is really interesting. So what that means is that within that situation, that Billy can raise his hand within the question. He can also open the chat up as well. It appears on the side. Show participants as well from that element, which is really good as well. So you can see it's me, you can see all the other attendees that are there, and you'll be able to see who's got his hand up, who's been mic'd, who's not on mute. So from that point, it's a very, very strong way. So obviously here we've got a lot of features that can be done. I can do other things with Billy's account with regards to controlling the situation. I can turn his audio on and off and other bits like that, but I can do that from my area of Teams. You will find that obviously it's there. If someone's raised their hand there, so I can check from the participants who's raised their hand and say, yes, Billy, what was the question? I can lower the hand for Billy as well, which is really cool, and do a variety of different things as well to make this work for the session at hand. I can share screen. I can do any of the other bits of functionality that's sat inside Microsoft Teams as well. I can record the meeting as well, which is very beneficial. So if I decide I wanted to record the session, you can record it directly from there. And at that point in time, you could then even upload it into Studio and have a part of synchronous learning. So if you wanted to do a lecture or a live lecture online with an array of students, you could do that and then provide them with that link after as a form of resource there. So clicking on the start recording there, it will record that session and it keeps it for 20 days. But you can download it at any point within that 20-day period, which is very beneficial. You've got your notes there. You've got other device settings as well for yourself. And you've also got your options here, which is to manage permissions as well. So you can manage permissions directly from that, which takes you back to that thing that I showed you earlier on. So that is the quickest overview from Microsoft Teams that I can possibly give you. But if you do need any more support, we are here to do that. And you can contact us at elearning@hull-college.ac.uk. Thank you very much for your time. and have a fantastic day.